There is an $18 billion market that is about to get disrupted with AI SaaS companies. This is going to be a huge deal in 2025, and not enough people are talking about it. Why? Because it's super boring, but incredibly profitable. Here's a big question though. What is this $18 billion market? How do you take advantage of this? What are the key SaaS ideas in this market? I'm gonna break all of this down for you. I'm gonna explain exactly what this market is, exact framework to follow to build the right type of SaaS company to take advantage of this market, and I'm gonna break it down to 5 key SaaS ideas that are gonna be huge in 2025. And when you watch till the end of this episode, you will be able to become a SaaS founder in 2025 with one of these ideas that you can steal, or you'll get heavily inspired. That's my sincere hope. So you actually start a SaaS company taking advantage of the AI trend. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So if you're new, be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. Now, if you're already part of this community, if you're part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching programs, if you're a customer of one of my SaaS products, my people, welcome back. It's really awesome to see you over here. I started in the SaaS industry back in 2005. I can't even count the number of years it's been because it's been so long. But because of that, right when SaaS was getting started, I saw the patterns of how old pieces of software were getting disrupted by SaaS. Right now, in 2024, as we're going into 2025, I am seeing the same patterns appear again, where old school SaaS companies are about to get completely demolished and disrupted by new school AI-first SaaS companies. And this is your opportunity in 2025. One of the biggest categories of software that is going to get disrupted, one of the biggest industries that is going to get disrupted is the business process automation industry. The business process automation industry is a $14 billion industry. And it's a really, really fancy way of explaining one simple thing. It's a bunch of humans looking at a bunch of unstructured data, invoices, payment forms, submissions, all kinds of different analog systems and sources of data, and they're plugging it into SaaS software. They're plugging into old school ERP systems, CRM systems, billing systems, you name it. There are armies of people, $14 billion worth of armies of people that are just sitting there. And the key thing that they're doing is it's high volumes of data that they're processing manually, and they're doing it over and over and over and over in a repetitive fashion, over and over again. Enter large language models, enter AI. This entire industry, this entire space, all these humans that are doing this tedious, repetitive work are ripe for disruption. So in this episode, I'm gonna dig into the exact framework to follow to build these kind of companies, and I'm gonna give you 5 key SaaS ideas. If you're excited to dig in, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's dig right into it. Okay, so first of all, let's explain the core framework that these people follow. They essentially have some form of data, and they also have some sort of old school CRM system or ERP system, some sort of old school SaaS system. And in the middle, you have a human being that's essentially looking at this data and filling in forms, filling in data, updating reports into these SaaS systems. Now, with the power of AI, what you're essentially going to do is build out AI agents. And these agents are going to run on their own to tap into this same exact data, and they're going to fill in all the reports and all the data back into these SaaS systems, inherently replacing the human that's in between. And the best part about this is there's going to be less errors, and there's going to be less time needed to do this, and it's going to be less cost, which is why it's going to be super powerful to actually sell this as a value proposition. And over time, these AI agents are going to be so powerful, they're going to own so much of the workflow, these old school SaaS systems are going to get disrupted, and these AI agent systems are going to do everything. That is where we're headed over the next 10 years with AI agents, and with SaaS, particularly with AI SaaS companies. And that essentially is your opportunity as a new SaaS founder to actually take advantage of this disruption. The same exact thing happened when there was on-premise software and was replaced by cloud software. The same thing happened when there was only desktop software and it was replaced and upgraded with mobile software. And the same thing is happening now where you have old school SaaS systems with humans looking at data and filling stuff in, and it's getting replaced by really smart large language models where the humans are getting replaced and it's hooking into the old systems using the data that's available. And over time, the old systems are getting disrupted as well. Now that you know exactly what the framework is, let's dig into 5 concrete SaaS ideas that either you're going to be able to steal and run with or you'll be inspired by. So let's dig right into that. By the way, if you're getting value so far, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. We just love it when you do that. It means the world to us, but really more importantly, the YouTube algorithm loves it. It helps us spread to more founders and pre-founders like you so we can serve as many people as possible. Okay, now that you understand the framework, let's talk about the first idea. I'm going to break this down into the exact role that you will be replacing using your AI SaaS company and what the inputs are and what the outputs are. And in the end, if you watch till the end, I'll give you a bonus tip and a resource that will help you validate the idea that you're going to be developing for your AI SaaS company in 2025. Okay, so the first role that AI agents can be disrupting in 2025 is accounts payable. So again, remember, our mantra is you're looking for humans that are doing a high volume amount of data processing and it's repetitive and tedious. So accounts payable people are ripe for that. They're sitting over there and their inputs are essentially invoices. Their inputs are payments. Their inputs are commitments. And what they're doing is they're looking at all these disparate pieces of data, they're parsing it with their human eyes and using their logic, and they're updating the records internally to figure out what's up to date and what to expect. This entire workflow can be replaced where you have AI agents looking at all these disparate pieces of data, parsing it out visually through text, through external pieces of data, and they're updating the relevant systems to make sure that everything is synced up and up to date. And over time, you can do it with less errors, you can do it with less time, and obviously less cost. The second idea, again, following the same principle of humans looking at data, dealing with a high volume of data, repetitive tasks, tedious tasks, and updating systems that can be replaced are insurance claim processors. Again, this is super boring, but you can imagine there are probably hundreds of thousands of these across the world because they're insurance companies that are processing claim forms. And these folks are also looking at policies. And based on that, they're either approving it or rejecting it, and they're updating reports on the trends that are happening. Again, you can replace this entire workflow with AI agents that are trained on processing these forms, on looking at this data, spotting trends, identifying fraud, and updating and rejecting and approving and doing all the processes that need to be done on the back end based on all the input data that's coming in. The third one is healthcare data entry clerks. For all of us, we've been in medical offices, doctor's offices, dentist offices where you're still filling out an old school form. So the inputs over here are patient forms. And the outputs is some sort of EMR, electronic health record system, or EHR, medical record or health record, where you're processing all these forms. You're looking at insurance, you're looking at claims, and you're trying to figure out if this all matches up and how to update the EMR or the EHR, and also how to update the right reports based on all the data that's coming in. Again, these are human beings that are sitting there and they're trying to process all this information, all these forms, all these different handwritings, and trying to update the right systems, and you can automate these with the LLMs that are emerging in the market today. I have 2 more of these, and then I have a bonus on exactly how to pursue these ideas and validate these ideas so you can build one of these disruptive companies. But before I do that, let me pause here for a second. I already starting to see the pattern over here. Now, the reality is this is super boring work for these people. So it's okay if you're disrupting them, they'll find higher value activities. But also more importantly, this is mission critical work. There is a high volume of data. There are actual business processes that are dependent on these people. So you want to build systems that are very resilient, that are less likely to cause errors, that are less costly than humans. But all of this is possible with the AI trend that's happening today, which is what makes this super powerful. So if you're starting to see the power of this, you're starting to get excited about this, just in this specific segment of business process automation, how you can build incredible companies in this $14 billion market. Can I just get a yes in the comments below? And also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. Also, if you're in this stage where you're validating these ideas, if you want to run with these ideas, I have a 5-point SaaS growth strategy guide that you should grab a copy of. It's completely free. You don't have to go anywhere right now. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this episode, along with my bonus tip, and I'll link to it below as well. But right now, let's go to idea number 4. Okay, idea number 4 is your supply chain logistics coordinator. Again, these are folks that are dealing with a high volume of data, repetitive tasks, and relatively tedious, and they're just doing it over and over and over. Their inputs are shipment data and shipment logs. They are looking at supplier inputs. And with all of this, they're trying to figure out the routing of these shipments. They are trying to figure out the tracking of these shipments, and they're trying to create the right reports for these shipments. In all of these cases, they're sitting over there and they're really trying to figure out, what is my shipment data? What is the shipment log? Where are these pieces coming through? What does it look like? What are the exceptions? And based on that, how do I route these? And how do I update the reports? And how do I update the status so that everything can be tracked? At the end of the day, we can do it in a cost-efficient way. Again, this is super powerful where a human being is pretty good at doing this, but if you have a large language model that's specifically trained on parsing this data and updating these systems and also predicting the way things should move and the way things are going and detecting errors, it could be incredibly transformational for the companies that are hiring these people. The last one that I have is your compliance analyst. Again, one of the things that I realized as I was doing research for this is these are super boring sounding roles. It doesn't sound like the most exciting thing, but I hate to break it to you, it's the most boring things that print the most money. So you're gonna have to figure out, do you want a sexy idea that doesn't make much money? Or do you wanna go after a really sound business idea that just prints money because it's so valuable for these large corporations, particularly in this $14 billion space? So for the compliance analyst, the inputs are regulatory requirements and compliance policies. So essentially, these folks are looking at what are the regulatory requirements, what are the policies of the company, how are they executing on it. They're triangulating between these three things, and they're essentially doing yes, no on, are we compliant and are we not? And based on that, they're filing reports. They're filing reports that are required based on regulatory agencies on whether they're in compliance or not. A lot of these regulatory agencies are self-compliant oriented, so you have to submit the reports, and then they'll come and inspect you if they feel like you're doing something wrong. So these roles are super important in making sure that they process all the data and file the reports and find the gaps and identify the risks and get ahead of it. And again, a human is pretty good at doing this, and they employ armies of people to do this. But if you have an AI agent that understands every exception, every piece of data, every compliance requirement, every gap, and is able to do that in real time, you can completely transform how these industries operate. So let's recap. This business process automation industry is nearly a $14 billion industry. It is filled with human beings that's looking at data, and they're updating SaaS systems. And that's going to get disrupted with AI agents replacing these humans. They are going to be less costly, they are going to be less error prone, and they're going to require less time to process massive amounts of data. In all of these cases, the repetitive tasks become automated, and they're going to be better at these jobs. And in order to take advantage of this, what is going to happen is these AI SaaS companies are going to be AI first. You're going to be building these autonomous systems that replace a human and plug into the existing platforms. But over time, they'll be able to grow and replace these old platforms entirely. entirely as more parts of the system become completely autonomous. Examples of this, let's recap. Number one role is accounts payable, where you're processing invoicing data. Number two is insurance claim processes, where you're processing claims. Number three is healthcare data entry, where you're processing patient intake forms. Number four is supply chain logistics, where you're looking at shipment data and routing data. And number five, compliance analysts, where you're looking at compliance requirements and compliance execution and finding gaps and filing reports. In all of these cases, you can actually build AI agents that replace these processes, that streamlines these workflows, reduces the time it takes to do these things, and you can charge a whole lot of money. Is this the sexiest thing out there? Probably not. But however, because these are solving urgent and important problems, they're going to be incredibly valuable, incredibly lucrative in this $14 billion market where everything's about to change in 2025. Now, if you're in this stage where you're like, TK, I really want to pursue one of these ideas. How do I actually build this out? If you're in this stage where you're running with one of these ideas or you've been inspired by this framework and you have an idea you want to pursue, one of the biggest things you still have to figure out is distribution. You have to figure out how to get in front of the bosses of these people so you can pitch your AI agent, you can actually get a pilot, and you can start to get customers. In order to do this, you need to build out a proper go-to-market strategy to validate this idea, to test the market, to talk to customers, and then build the right AI agent with the right partners. In order to do this, you need a proper go-to-market strategy. So if you're building one, you should grab a copy of my 5-point SaaS growth strategy guide. Inside of this guide, I guide you in building out your proper go-to-market strategy so you can take your idea and validate it in the market, get into customer conversations, sell your idea, and start building it and generate revenues. It is an incredible guide. It's completely free. If you want to grab your copy, just go to getunstoppable.com/strategy. It is an incredible guide. It's chock full of my best resources on how to build out a go-to-market strategy so you can stress test your idea. You can actually take it into the market. You can get into customer conversations. You can build the right product and drive growth. So grab your copy. Just go to getunstoppable.com/strategy. getunstoppable.com/strategy. Also, if you got value from this video, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. I also drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon. You'll get notified every single time I drop an episode. Also, if you have a fellow founder that you want to start a company with, if you have a team member, if you're already building a SaaS company and you're figuring out growth and you think that they would get value from this video on how to take advantage of the AI wave, then please share this video with them. You want to serve as many pre-founders and founders and team members as possible so we can build incredible software companies. It truly is an incredible time in SaaS. AI SaaS companies are going to completely change the landscape of how we operate, how we do business, how we live our lives. And we want to be serving all of you and building these incredible companies. Lastly, remember, everyone has a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next episode inside the 5-point SaaS growth strategy guide. Take care, everybody.